Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make one of these super trendy money card holders, and we are going to do it in Design Space from scratch using only free templates. So if you go into New Project, you're going to click on Shapes and you're going to click on the rounded square. So once that loads, you're going to unlock the size. And the size of this card is 4 by 5. So in the width, you're going to put 4. And in the height, you're going to put 5. There we go. Now we can lock that again. Then we need to go and put the little cutout in the middle of this card at the top. So you're going to go into Shapes again, choose the circle. Just move it to the side, resize it, and then you're going to put it over there. So let's just change the color of the card. So let's make that white. And we change the color of the canvas. If you click on the white blank canvas at the bottom, you move to the top where it says color. You can just change the color there to make it a little bit easier. So now that you have the little hole at the top, just highlight both that as well as the actual template at the back, and then you're going to say align center horizontally, and that will just put that little circle right in the middle at the top. We can now, if you highlight both of those again and you say slice, that will just actually cut out that little circle. So if you just move that away, you'll see that there's two little circles that you can now delete. And that way you have your little hole. So the next thing that we need to do is decorate this card. So not everyone does this, but I like to add a little shape of a different color to where the actual money will be going. So in order to do that, you'll go into Shapes, get this little rectangle, and now you'll go and you'll measure the actual little plastic part that you have. So some people buy this from Etsy or Amazon. If it's a once-off, you can always just get a chapstick, or I saw, what was it, Tylenol or something like that, that was at the shops. So what you're going to do is you're just going to measure this little plastic part. I've done mine, and it is at 3.4. I'm going to unlock it by 1, and there you've got your little shape. You can now move it down to the bottom to where you want it to be, and then you can go and you can highlight the back of the card as well as that, and you can again go align center horizontally, and that will just move it there. We can now change the color. I'll just make mine a little blue, and there we go. So the next thing we'll do is we will add the little shape of the value of the money that's going to be on the top right corner of this little design. So I like to use this one. You can then go and resize it, probably about that big, and move it in and change your color. So let's make it a red one. Okay, let's add some text. So what I want to do is I want to first put the value of the money that's going to be in there, and I'm going to say $20. I'm going to change my font, and the one I'm using is, I just put in stencil there. It's this authentic stencil, but you can choose any font that you like. I'm going to resize it, change the color to white. There we go. Okay, so next thing I want to do is I want to personalize this card. So I'm going to type out happy birthday, with a comma, and I'm going to change the text. So if you go into font, and then the one I'm going to use is DTC Apple Cider, this one over here. I'm going to make this black. So I'm just going to resize it a little bit and just move it up here. I'm just going to write the person's name in here. So I'm going to say Luke, and this I'm going to make a different text. I actually downloaded this one from Creative Fabrica. It's called the Elizabeth font. Elizabeth script. I'm going to resize it a little bit. Maybe put an exclamation at the back. And make this blue. Let's make it a little bit darker. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to just align these two. So I'm going to put that. Let's just go ahead and move those in here. So now we can go and highlight the back of the card as well as the text and just say center horizontally, and that will just move it to the middle of your card. So what we can do now is just add some images. So if we go, let's look for some balloons. And then you can go to the filters on your left hand side and just say free. I like this little one. So let's click on that and say add to canvas. Move it to the side a little bit. Resize it. And let's make 4 of those. Okay. I'm going to make these different colors. So let's make a yellow one, green, should we make a dark green, red, and a blue one. Okay, now we can go ahead and put them in here. Change them around a little bit. And make this one a little bit smaller. So in order to do print and cut, what you want to do is you want to highlight this entire thing with all the components on it, and you want to flatten it. So that is what your actual little card is going to look like. Let's just change the color of this background. So now we can go ahead and click on Make It. And if you have a look on the left hand side, it says Print Then Cut. So our material size is 8.5 by 11, which is fine. Or you can choose A4. I'm just going to leave it as 8.5 by 11. And we can then go and say Continue. You can then click on Send to Printer. From here you can choose your printer that you're printing to, the number of copies that you want to print, to add or not add a bleed. I prefer to add a bleed, and I would recommend opening a system dialog box for your printer, and this will enable you to check that number 1 you're printing in color, number 2 you're printing the highest quality, and then you can go ahead and say print from there. Now that you're ready to cut your printed design, it's going to ask you to set your base material. You're going to go browse all material and just go type in cardstock in your search bar. And we are now going to need heavy cardstock. So you're going to go to heavy cardstock, click on that, and say done. You can then change the pressure to more, just because 110 pound cardstock is a little bit bigger than this, or thicker than this. It tells you to use your fine point blade. So you can now go ahead and add your printed cardstock to your mat and load your mat into your Cricut machine. Once your mat has been measured, you can go ahead and make your cut. Now that the cut's been completed, you can go ahead and eject the mat. Remove the cardstock from your mat by just turning the mat around, and it actually comes off quite easily. So there we go, it's beautifully cut. And now we can just go ahead and add our plastic bit. So now that we have our printed card as well as our little money holder, what we need to do is we need to just add some double-sided tape or glue to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use normal double-sided tape. Do this side first. Just cut it in half. And do that on all sides. So in order to roll your money, you're just going to roll it up. I like to have the money showing at the top. So pop it in there. There you go. And just place it on your card. And there you go, quick and easy birthday present for a little boy.